Have you ever felt like you're being shaped by forces you didn't choose? Like your thoughts and actions follow an invisible script written by others? Perhaps you find yourself smiling at jokes you don't really enjoy or agreeing to plans you'd rather skip just because everyone else seems fine with them. Maybe you wake each morning already patterned by routines, work, commute, social media scroll, without ever stopping to ask, is this actually what I want? It's easy to mistake this steady drift for freedom. After all, the voices guiding you promise comfort, acceptance, safety. Parents teach you to follow rules so you do the right thing. Teachers reward you for fitting in. Friends expect you to conform to their beliefs. And society at large applauds the obedient, the predictable, the polite. Yet all of this guidance comes with an unspoken price. You surrender a piece of yourself each time you go along with someone else's plan. What if I told you that those gentle nudges are chains in disguise, that the comfort they offer is a gilded cage, and that by playing along, you may be giving away your most precious gift, autonomy? Autonomy is not simply doing what you want in the moment. That's impulse. True autonomy is built on deep self-knowledge, hard choices, and the courage to stand alone when necessary. When you don't question the script, you become its actor rather than its author. Nietzsche, one of the boldest thinkers in history, saw this dynamic clearly. He described most people as living under slave morality, a system of values and beliefs inherited from the weak, designed to preserve the status quo by demanding obedience, humility, and guilt. According to Nietzsche, this moral code says, be good, be meek, surrender your desires, serve others. It dresses submission in the cloak of virtue and then convinces you that your own ambitions are sinful. He argued that this morality of slaves arises from fear of pain, fear of judgment, fear of standing out. When you are afraid, you prefer safety to risk, comfort to growth. You hide behind polite smiles even when your heart burns for more. You silence your real voice because someone taught you that speaking up equals trouble. But in that silence, your vitality withers. The person you could become is left waiting, trapped behind your own caution. Nietzsche offered an antidote to this moral stifling, the figure of the Übermensch, often translated as Overman or Superman, though it means something closer to self-creator. The Overman is not a tyrant, nor a celestial hero, nor someone elected by others. He is someone who breaks free from inherited values and then forges his own. He rejects the labels of good and evil imposed by the herd and instead asks, what values will serve life, growth, and creativity? This is not a call to heedless rebellion. It is a call to radical self-authorship, to reject any belief you inherited without examination, then to build a framework of your own choosing. Imagine standing before a vast blank wall, the slate of your life, and painting its surface with colors you selected, shapes you designed. That is the project Nietzsche invites you to undertake, the continual creation and recreation of yourself. The first step is radical questioning. The first move toward becoming uncontrollable is to ask why about everything you believe, not in a fleeting way, but relentlessly. Why do you work this job? Because it pays the bills. Why do you pay the bills? Because you believe stability is life's goal. Why do you believe that? Because everyone around you says so. Why do they believe it? Because their parents said so. And on you go, untangling a web of inherited assumptions until at last you reach your own ground. This process can feel dizzying. You may discover that many of your truths are nothing but echoes. You might confront beliefs you once held dear that collapse under scrutiny. But these revelations do not weaken you. They liberate you. They clear away the rubble of old dogmas so you can build your own foundations. The second step is to embrace discomfort. Once you see the limits of your inherited script, you'll feel an urge to escape. But don't flee into something equally comforting. Instead, Choose discomfort that forges strength. Nietzsche believed that the soul grows under stress, like muscles in the gym. Seek challenges that stretch your body and mind. Learn a difficult skill, speak to strangers, travel without a plan, take cold showers, fast for a day. These acts of deliberate hardship do more than toughen you physically. They teach you are stronger than your excuses. Discomfort also means risking disapproval. Practice saying no when you'd normally say yes. Express an unpopular opinion kindly. Stand up for a boundary that others may question. Each small act of defiance chips away at the authority others hold over you. You discover that the fear of their disapproval feels less potent when you've stared it down. The third step is self-authorship. With your inherited beliefs questioned and your comfort zone expanded, you are ready to become your own writer. Spend time crafting a personal manifesto, your values, your goals, your daily principles. Write it by hand in a notebook. Refine it weekly. Let it guide your decisions. You might include, "I will speak my truth with kindness." "I will devote an hour each day to learning something new." "I will not apologize for my ambition." By scripting these commitments, you shift from reactive mode, doing what you think you should, to proactive mode, choosing what you want. Over time, your manifesto becomes less of a document and more of a living reality. The fourth step is to cultivate solitude. Solitude is not loneliness. It's sanctuary. It's the laboratory where you examine your thoughts away from the crowd's noise. Schedule regular retreats, morning meditation, weekend hikes, digital detoxes. In these periods of silence, pay attention to your quietest longings, the creative ideas, the buried passions, the subtle regrets. In solitude, you confront the gaps between your current self and the self you desire to be. Instead of fleeing those gaps, lean into them. Use journaling to dialogue with the versions of you that you've ignored. In this unguarded space, you develop the clarity to recognize when others' demands encroach on your integrity. Step 5 is all about building up your inner fortress. As you question, challenge, and define yourself, you erect walls of inner strength. These walls are not barriers to growth, but bulwarks against manipulation. Each boundary you set, no longer answering calls during focused work, no longer absorbing emotional guilt for others' mistakes, no longer shrinking your ambitions to please, becomes a stone in your fortress. Sometimes friends or colleagues will push against these limits. They may accuse you of being distant, harsh, or arrogant. Remain firm. Explain your reasons kindly, then return to your work. Your fortress is built not on defensiveness but on consistency. Others learn that your boundaries are unbreakable. The next step is to practice non-reactivity. In heated moments, most people react instantly, words hurled in anger, immediate justifications, panicked defenses. Reaction hands over power. The overman masters non-reactivity. He listens, observes the emotional currents, then chooses whether to speak or remain silent. Silence in the face of provocation unsettles aggressors. They expect noise and conflict. When they meet unflappable calm, they lose the script. Use simple techniques. When provoked, inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Repeat until the urge to react softens. Then, if you choose to speak, let your words be measured, concise, and decisive. This practiced restraint turns your calm into a weapon of influence. The next step is all about creative destruction. Nietzsche taught creative destruction, the demolition of outdated values to make way for new ones. Identify beliefs that no longer serve, that you must follow a linear career, that you need others' approval to feel worthy, that failure is shameful. Consciously let these beliefs go. You might perform a ritual, burn a piece of paper listing them, or ceremonially tear them up. But destruction alone is nihilistic. Immediately replace each discarded belief with a new affirmation rooted in your self-authorship. For example, I no longer believe I must stay in a job I hate. I believe I can design my own path to meaning. That dual act, letting go and rebuilding, keeps your spirit both flexible and resilient. You then need to unite your body and mind. Nietzsche emphasized the unity of flesh and spirit. A weak body dulls the mind. An engaged body invigorates it. Develop rituals of physical discipline, strength training, yoga, martial arts, running, whatever challenges you. Let your body learn that pain can be purposeful and that endurance builds confidence. Nutrition also matters. Fuel yourself with whole foods that sustain clear thought rather than quick fixes that lead to crashes. When you treat your body as an ally, you demonstrate daily that you rule nothing more than yourself. After that, begin navigating the herd with compassion. Even as you claim your autonomy, you remain among others who cling to the old script. Some will admire your courage, others will feel threatened and lash out. Meet both reactions with compassion. Understand that their attacks often mask fear and envy. You can offer perspective, but you don't compromise your newly authored values. Learn to recognize 3 common herd reactions. Denial, you're just going through a phase. You think you're special, don't you? Come join our group, follow our rules, you'll feel better. These 3 common sheepish responses encompass denial, mockery, and co-optation. Instead, respond with calm clarity. I appreciate your view, but I'm choosing to follow my own path. Next up, try to celebrate creative joy. Becoming uncontrollable isn't grim, it's liberating. Your life becomes an act of creation, a poem, a painting, a startup, a healed relationship, a bold adventure. Find joy in each moment you build something true. Celebrate small victories, completing a difficult workout, standing up for your boundary, writing a powerful sentence. This joy fuels further creation. It reminds you why you chose this path, to live with purpose, passion, and freedom. Transformation is not a finish line. It's an ongoing flame you must kindle daily. Feed it with new challenges, creative projects, solitude retreats, and honest self-reflection. When complacency creeps in, when routines feel too comfortable, inject fresh difficulty. Learn a language, mentor someone, speak publicly about your journey. The moment you rest on your past accomplishments, you risk slipping back into the old script. Keep forging. Now look at your life. Which voices still whisper in your mind? Which routines maintain your comfort at the cost of your freedom? Which fears keep you small? Become who you are. Shake off the chains of slave morality. Ask why until inherited answers dissolve. Embrace the trials that forge strength. Build your own values and live by them. Stand firm in solitude and in crowds. Create, destroy, and recreate yourself without end. When you do, you will become someone they can never control again, because you are no one else's creation. You are the overman, author, artist, warrior, and sovereign of your own becoming. And in that sovereignty, you discover the greatest freedom of all, living on your own terms.